Alrighty, again from the new apartment. We're live from Columbus, OH, and this is Answering Your Financial Questions Live, number 190. Alrighty, and we have audio, so I don't need this anymore. I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solution Certified Financial Coach. And if you'd like to schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me, you can email me, coachstevemoney@gmail.com, and we will work that out. That will happen via video conferencing. You're watching me on youtube.com/coachstevemoney. And my financial content is right below the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlists. And you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist and the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist. And the music playlist has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs, such as How to Do the Baby Steps Right. So listen to those if you are so inclined, and sing them better than me if you can. Send me a recording of you doing that. Maybe I'll play it on the after show. Alrighty, let's do some questions. These are from the Ramsey Baby Steps Community Facebook group. And if it's called anything other than the Ramsey Show, no, the Ramsey Baby Steps Community is what it's called. If it's called anything other than that, it's not run by Ramsey Solutions, it's run by fans instead. There's also some dating groups, Ramsey dating groups on the Facebook as well, like at least as of 3 years ago there were. That's the last time I looked at that. Normally get quite a questions from the Dave Ramsey subreddit, but recently ran out, and so letting that fill back up again. So we're supplementing with the Facebook group questions. Yeah, and yes, the schedule did change based on I'm still trying to get everything out of the old apartment. Only maybe 1 or 2 more carloads and should be fine. And then just have to get it cleaned, and I have until Monday to do that. So plenty of time. And then after that I'll tackle the mess you see behind me. And we'll make it look very nice. First comment. Consider the money you earn hourly is that thing you want to purchase. You looking at that thing you want to purchase. Thing you want to purchase really worth X hours of your life. That's a good way to think about it. So, PlayStation or something like that costs $300. How many hours does it take you to make that? Just an example, and not the right price for it. Because you're not getting a PlayStation 5 for that, and the PlayStation 4s are not worth that much still. As I found out when I tried to sell mine. But then I decided to keep it because I think I'm going to play Red Dead Redemption 2. For anyone, probably stream it as well. For anyone on the fence about doing the baby steps, ... My husband is a furloughed federal worker. I took the federal delayed resignation, so I am now a stay-at-home mom. We've been practicing budget without my income since I quit working. Okay. And, well, you've been more than practicing. You've actually been doing it, I guess. And we just got hit today with that $1,000 car repair because we followed the baby steps, and they're on baby step 7. For us, it is just, oh man, that stinks, rather than, oh no, what are we going to do? Exactly. That's why you want to get your finances in better shape. And the fastest, best way to do that would be follow the baby steps. You can go to ramseysolutions.com, click on money right there, and click on the 7 baby steps right there. And then you'll get the list. And look, you don't have to pay anything to do that. Now, definitely don't do them wrong. And people often do them wrong because they don't want to do them correctly. Because they want to keep doing the same dumb crap they were doing and get different results, I guess. But also, it doesn't say that steps 1, 2, and 3 are one at a time. That's why I also put that in the ticker below. 1, 2, 3, one at a time without even thinking. Don't even think about higher steps. You do the one that you're on step 1, 2, and 3, and that's it. You don't move ahead to the next one. No need to even think about the next one until you get to it. And then once you're done with steps 1, 2, and 3, then you do steps 4, 5, and 6 all together. Some people actually think you're supposed to do all steps 1 through 7 all together, and that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Also, some people think that it's you're on the baby step that you're currently doing. Like somebody recently on the subreddit had baby step 2 debt, but was also sending extra money to the mortgage. And you know what that is, of course. He doing it wrong. So you're on the lowest one that applies to you. And again, we're not doing extra saving money. If you're on step 2, you're not doing step 3 saving extra money. You're not doing step 4 investing household income in a retirement only, and there's definitely no extra brokerage account investing. You don't do that at all until step 7. Save for kid college, optional, and pay off the home early. Or how those work. And step 4, 5, and 6 are done again at the same time, but still in this priority order. So all of your extra money, you would do 15% of that gross household income into retirement first, and then any extra left over, then you put some to kids' college, and then any left over after that, that's what would go to the mortgage to pay that off early. Is there, the word a, is there, and it's also a letter, also a word, is there a such thing as couples counseling blended with financial counseling? We're on baby step 2 with a baby due any day now, and although we both listened to the Ramsey show and took FPU, my husband still wants to spend money on random things other than the debt. Did you ask him why? He's a spender, and yes, okay, so a spender will want to spend money. That's what they do. That's why they're called spenders. So you do want to do that, but then when you take FPU, you might have seen something in there that tells you about getting your finances together, and oh, maybe we don't buy random things all the time that we want to buy that aren't necessities. Maybe we stop doing that for a little while. So you ask your husband why. So many people want to run to the Ramsey show to ask, and I mean, I guess that's a good place to call, because then Dave can tell them, I don't have a fix for you. You need to talk to your husband and work it out. And if you can't work it out, then you need counseling, communication, compromise. And if you can't do either of those first 2 things, then counseling. Anyway, I'm the saver, pay the bills, make the budget. We've met with well, okay, so you shouldn't be making the budget all by yourself. I mean, even if you prepare it, there should still be a budget meeting, and not you just making it and say, here it is, follow it. We've met with a Ramsey coach once over a year ago, but now I'm feeling like, for me, we need some counseling because of the emotions money is bringing up. It'd be great if we could meet with someone that could help us tackle the marriage slash spiritual side and the numbers all together. Um, there could be some like that. I don't know of any. There probably is somebody that does that, and so you could Google that. But probably the best thing to do would be to have them separate because the marriage problem is different than the money problem. And so you would really even over what a coach would suggest, especially a Ramsey coach, which should be giving the Ramsey advice in its entirety. Um, you two are trying to stay married, and so when you are married, sometimes you have to do a compromise. And if you want to do it totally the Ramsey way and he doesn't want to, then probably the compromise is going to involve some not doing it all the Ramsey way. And of course, he'd have to spend less on random things. Maybe he gets a small budget to spend on random things. Who knows? Whatever you guys agree on. And that trumps the Ramsey advice for just you guys. Definitely, 100%. The best thing to do would be to follow the Ramsey advice exactly as it's stated, but you also trying to keep your marriage together. And so if he won't do that, then you have to accept compromise or decide you're not going to accept compromise. And then that's when it might be time to get a divorce, unfortunately. Curious what your individual clothing budget is, monthly, yearly, however you handle it. I wear a lot of vintage clothing. Hard to believe that my favorite brand of skirts sold in the 90s is now considered to be vintage. That was 35 years ago, babe. 1990 was 35 years ago. And so I guess that could be considered vintage, I guess. And rely on their availability from sites like eBay and Poshmark. So while I have a general max, I will spend on any one of them. I could buy a few items in 1 month and nothing for the next 6. I expect the amount will vary between men and women. Absolutely. Because you're going to have it. Because women do be shopping now. And Sid's favorite joke. And men tend to buy stuff less, but you will get men that are very into looking nice and buy clothing like an item once a month. I'm trying to remember the last piece of clothing item that I bought. I mean, shoes. I needed new shoes mid-spring or so. So there's that, but beyond that, I get shirts and stuff for Christmas usually, or birthday, that kind of thing. So I don't really need any of those. Have a bunch of. I'm trying to think of the last time I even bought. Like I'm always wearing Ohio State gear like this. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to remember the last time that I ever bought them, and if I ever bought any. I don't think I ever bought any. I think they were all gifts. And all of them I'm wearing probably 10 years old or more. I did have to throw one out earlier today because it had a hole in it. So I thought, oh, I'll throw that out. I have been throwing out. I trimmed down. Not a hoarder, but probably keep too much stuff. My problem is that I keep stuff, and because I think, oh, well, I can get enough off of eBay for that to make it worth it. And sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong about that, but it's just hard for me to, when it's worth something, it's hard for me to get rid of it. But still, I've had up until I moved from Arkansas, I did go through every box and throw some stuff away out of every single box. But before that, I'd probably move 3 apartments without ever even opening some of the boxes. So obviously didn't need that stuff. But then now that when I opened it and looked at it, I thought, well, that I can sell and all that. So we'll see. So I am going to be throwing some more. I've already thrown some away at the old apartment, and I'll be throwing more away from here. As I said, yeah, I really don't need that. But individual clothing budget, nothing. I mean, the shoes cost me $50, tennis shoes. And it was a collab between Skechers and Goodyear. And so the bottom of it looks like tires. Very interesting. I'm 48. My husband is 53. We're just starting out. No, you're not. Maybe they mean on the Ramsey train, maybe. The Ramsey advice, perhaps. We've filed bankruptcy, Chapter 13, and have cut up or closed any accounts with zero balance. Well, you don't just cut up an account with zero balance. You close them all. Close them all. People like try to keep it open and are like they care about their credit score. Your credit score gone anyway because of the bankruptcy. So it's time to not give a crap about that anymore. It's not necessary to have a credit score. You do not need it to do anything. There are alternatives for everything you want to do that requires a credit score. You do not have to use just one specific company that requires a credit score, like for example, or a credit card, for example, like renting a car. I used Enterprise twice within the last 3 years. Very recently here again. And just had a debit card, had no problems. So shut up with that bull crap about that you have to have a credit score, have to have a credit card to rent a car. You do not. Shut up. And of course, people think you have to have it to buy a house. No, you can get manual underwriting done. And you don't need a credit score. So quit lying about it. You're lying, people. Anyway, these people, how do we begin? We each work 2 jobs and make decent money. Could consider working one, if both of those are part-time, could consider working 1 full-time job each. Because also with the full-time job, sometimes there are benefits. And so that might knock it over the hump where that would actually be worth more money. I've watched this group for a long time and am so amazed at what you people have accomplished. What do you mean, you people? I feel like a failure and don't know how to begin. We still have our house payment and utilities. Right, so the Chapter 13 bankruptcy just reorganizes your debt. It doesn't completely get rid of all of it. Like that would be a Chapter 7. We still have our house payment and utilities. Might have to sell the house. Especially if it's, since you're that old, maybe you don't have kids living with you anymore. And so maybe you bought the house when you did have kids. And so maybe now you have two bedrooms too many, that kind of thing. Phones, car insurance, etc. Sure. Chapter 13 is over 5 years and currently $740 every 2 weeks with the possibility of increasing by $1,000. Yeah. So you do that. You would still pay it off. I don't know if they'll let you. It would seem dumb for them not to let you do that. Even if they still charged you all the interest. For the time that it would take if you were only doing minimum payments. It's possible. But, you know, lenders are dumb. Courts are dumb when it comes to this kind of stuff. I'm a nurse. Husband is an EMT. Together we bring home roughly $6K a month, I guess that's supposed to be. Our house payment with insurance taxes is $1,500 a month. And that is what? That is, imagine that. That is exactly a quarter of take home pay. Okay, no car payments, great. No credit card payments, as these were included in the chapter 13. Right, that's the 740. Please guide me on how to start. Just added the every dollar app. If you haven't already, you do a budget. And you stop buying anything. You're in step 2 to pay off this bankruptcy. And so you would not buy anything, no out to eat, no going out to eat. You would stop buying anything that is not 100% necessary to live. You stop doing that. Stop spending money. See if you can cut down on anything, and selling the house is still an option, even though it's within the Ramsey parameters of keeping it. You could still think about selling it. And that could give you extra cash where you could pay off that debt earlier, sooner, faster. And beyond that, that's it. Just, you don't. That's step 2. Steps 1, 2, and 3. Step 1, you have $1,000. Start an emergency fund. If you have any other savings, that's gone. Bye-bye. All that goes to the debt. If you have any non-retirement investing, all that goes to the debt. And you stop investing in retirement. Even though, yes, you're old, but the amazing thing about the Ramsey advice, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, how poor you are, how rich you are. It's the same freaking advice for everybody. And that's the beauty of it. That makes it very simple. So it's no, oh, well, I'm old, so I have to. Nope. 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 You want to do it your way? You tried your way. It didn't work. Try it Dave's way now. So yeah, it would be this. Baby steps. Baby step 2. No life. No life while you pay off the debt. Work even more. Work more. Spend less. Pay that. Didn't say what the total was of it that they owe. 5 years, $740 every 2 weeks. That's what was that, $1,480 a month. Just trying to get up. $1,480. Oh crud! Let's do the calculator. Just curious. Calculator. What do we say? 740 every 2 weeks. So that is times 26 payments a year. Time, that is $19,240 a year. Yeah, $19,240 a year times 5 years is $96,200. That's almost a freaking $100,000. And if that was all, I mean, there could have been other stuff on there. There could have been personal loans. Who knows? Other than just the credit cards. Also, they could have had a crap load of credit cards, different ones. So that's $100,000 on that. It wouldn't be student loan. Well, I mean, that could be part of, yeah, that could be, it could be student loans, I guess, if those can be restructured as well. I don't know if those can be restructured or not. I know they can't be forgiven. The student loans. Had a question about investing. Period. Dave suggests that we invest in growth in income, and international funds. How does everyone know what to invest in? They don't. And that's why most people run to the S&P 500 index fund, which was market was up nice today. I believe, after being down yesterday. Supposedly, the Fed talked about 2 more rate decreases before the year is out. And so we'll have to see about that. But that's probably, I'm guessing, what kicked the market back up today. But yeah, so his categories, nobody really refers to them as that anymore. Maybe when he was first starting out and he never changed what he calls it. But aggressive growth is small cap, growth is mid cap, growth and income is large cap, and international is international. And what you do is you manage mutual funds that beat the indexes of those particular types. And if you don't know how to do it, you are in luck, because there's a thing called the internet now where it has all the information about everything on there. So if you put your mind to it, just like George McFly's advice, Marty McFly's advice, actually Doc said it first, I guess. If you don't count Marty, who heard it from Doc saying it in the past, but who said it first to Marty was apparently that was part of Doc's thing, that put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. And I got distracted. About learning anything. Yeah. So you can learn that. You can learn how to find good mutual funds, managed funds that beat the indexes, even after you take out the higher expense ratio. And they will have a higher expense ratio because they have management fees, because they have managers. They're not just governed by whatever the index is. So it does cost more, but if you find the right ones, they are worth it. So yeah, you can teach yourself, or you can hire a SmartVesta Pro that you can get in touch with via the Ramsey Solutions website. And those guys are supposed to have, and gals are supposed to have, the heart of a teacher, and not only just tell you, oh, you need to be invested in this, this, and this, and the stuff they tell you supposedly should be. It's not all the way, all the time though, unfortunately. But what it should be is, if they get a referral from the Ramsey Solutions website, you would think they would give that person the Ramsey-esque advice. But sometimes they don't, because they get greedy, their halos slip, and they just want to make money. So they recommend that you put money in the thing that makes them the most money. And as Dave often says, people call all the time saying that their financial advisor tells them to not pay off the house, to invest more. And of course they want you to invest more, because if you invest more, they make more money. If you pay off your house, they don't make more money from you. Maybe they would later, if they would look at the long game, because you could be investing the mortgage payment later. But they're dumb. Where were we? So how do you know? You teach yourself with it. Morningstar is a great website for comparing mutual funds. But every piece of information you need about every single mutual fund, is on the internet. And so you can teach yourself if you put your mind to it. Question, is FPU only for couples? No. As a recently divorced woman, everybody is overly concerned about what their little demographic is. And again, like I said, the Ramsey stuff, it's for everybody. Can I benefit from FPU? Yes, you can. I'm very familiar with Baby Steps program and been binge watching all of Dave's shows on YouTube. Just ordered the Total Money Makeover book also. Thank you. Well, it's going to repeat a lot of the stuff you should have heard already. But the problem is, people say they're a long time watcher and that they're familiar with the Dave advice, and then they do something dumb as crap like ask Dave himself if they should get a loan to do X. Obviously, not familiar with his advice, or dumb like people are dumb and think they're an exception to it, which they're not. So, but yeah, anybody can benefit from FPU. There's probably something in there that you hadn't caught before. It's possible there's I don't know, they have revamped it since I last led it. I did lead 2 of those classes. They called it coordinating the class. And so I did and had a great time doing both of them. I had great people in both of them. In my first one, though, I did have a young lady that on the first time, she said that she was not going to give her Starbucks up, and I thought, oh well, she won't be back next week, and she wasn't. Not trying to give up no Starbucks, apparently. But they used to have, at least used to, and maybe still do, have like an entire chapter on how companies market to you. And so that would be something more, and of course they go more into depth with the Baby Steps program and the advice in general. Please share tips how to get over the guilty feeling towards your kids. Your husband, your kids comment your husband when doing baby steps, cut down expenses. Thanks, bros and sisses, maybe. If it's bros, why is it only one sis? Over the guilty feeling towards your kid, you're not. I don't think that's how guilt works. I don't think it's a guilt towards that. I mean, you feel guilty over how you treat them, I guess. It's just awkwardly worded. But anyway, as far as the guilt, okay, so your kids and your husband, now your husband's an adult, okay? And if you're doing the baby steps, that means your finances aren't in great shape, and then an adult should act accordingly when the finances are not in great shape. And if you're talking about kids, you owe them protection. You owe them, safety. You owe them housing. You owe them food. Okay, you don't owe them going out to eat every day. You do owe them food. And that can be something just like a hot dog, something like that. So, and of course, you should be loving them as well. But like a guilty feeling, if you feel guilty because they can't do travel baseball, tough crap. Tough crap. You can't afford it. Okay? If they want to not do travel and just do the regular baseball in school, they don't need to start before they even start freaking middle school. I mean, maybe a middle school team if the middle school offers it. I don't think my middle school did. So you would do that when you go to high school, and then you can do that. And if they're not in high school yet, and involves some payment to do the traveling part of the baseball for the baseball team in high school, then you'd be in better shape by the time they got there, hopefully. But the kids can't have everything they want. Sorry, you can't justify it big. Oh, for the kids. I have to do this dumbass crap with money because it's for the kids. No, you don't. As the adult, you're the one that gets to decide that. Again, the husband should not be in the same category with the kids. Husband should be acting like an adult in this particular time when you guys theoretically are having bad financial times. So the tips, I mean, basically how to get over it. I said get over it, and you get over it. And you just have to change your mindset about it. You don't owe those kids that. It'd be great if you could do travel baseball for them or any other crap. Get them every little thing that they desire, but that probably is not good either to overdo it that way. So you are making that by making your family's finances better, you are not only helping yourself, you're also helping them as well. Good morning, newbie here. Wanted to have you look over my budget and help me cut where I can. Great. We love to do that. I have debt in collections and behind 1 month on current cards. Okay. Well, baby step 0. So before we get to the budget, which making the budget, creating a budget is part of baby step 0. But before we do that, you get current on anything you're behind. You get current on that, and you would do that before you even save the $1,000. So there's 0 starter emergency fund while you're behind. So you need to get caught up immediately. And so doing the budget to cut out things, and the more the better, will help with that. I'm trying to get better with saving. Well, we don't save money. You just don't spend it. And then it goes to, all of it's going bye-bye. There's no saving. I am cash budgeted other than basic bills. It's still all cash, baby. Yeah. I am gonna go through and cancel. Go through. You got to go through them first and then cancel them, I guess. I can live without today. Great. That should be pretty much all of them. Income biweekly, 1608. Income, child support, 1100. This comes in randomly throughout the month. Okay. Currently 800, still owed from last month. Alrighty. Well, if it's not coming in, you need to get that, and that needs to be a part of this income. That counts, because you are supporting the child with your own money, and so you would just add that money to yours. When I do get payments, typically every 7 days, it is deposit of $278. Okay. Essentials rent $1,500, includes water. That's not crazy. Electric 90, not crazy. You could, have it be cooler and dress warmer in the house. In the summer, have it be warmer and dress cooler in the house. Gas 25, that's probably fine. Internet 30, that's going to be fine on that. I have determined. So 900, I owe on my phone 4 more payments, then maybe switch. Yep. Switch, Mint Mobile or Visible, something like that. Yep. Don't finance a phone through a cell phone company anymore. Buy your phone cash on the barrelhead. Subscription 60, gonna cut most or all of them would be better. Food 250 bi-weekly, so that's what, 500 a month. That's Teen Boys. Single, so her and Teen Boys. That's probably not too bad, but if you can cut it down cut the food down any, do it. Gas car. Oh, this gas was natural gas. Got it. My oven, and I think the dishwasher too. Stovetop, oven, and dishwasher, I think, too. All of them run on gas. Interesting. The last two apartments I've been in were electric only for everything. I'm trying to remember if I've ever had a gas stove before. I don't think so. Debt these behind 1 month, and this is what you have to do. Oh, those are the payments. 1131 on one credit card. Maybe. Hopefully that's the total amount and not the payment. That sucks if that's the payment, because that's so much. Look at that. There's 2,000 right there. It's like, oh, that's a lot of money. That's like 30 some hundred. I think between $3,000 and $4,000 in payments. Collections, both from 2019, 658 old credit card, 1,700 to Verizon. So my question is, do I pay all the minimums on the credit cards that I have that are not in collections first? Yes. Well, the first thing you do, as I said, you get current on all of those first, and you do that before you save the $1,000. I do not have my emergency fund. Good, you're not supposed to, because I'm part of baby step 0 again, is getting current. But I already get the current credit card, starting to make phone calls, and the anxiety and stress of it is freaking me out. So that's why you get current. Or do I pay my essentials and put everything I can away to get my emergency fund first? Normally, yes, but because you're behind, you don't. You get current first. Cash envelopes are usually groceries. Miscellaneous spending for kids, also known as gas station or out to eat. There's no more out to eat. No. No. And the kids don't need to go to the gas station. What are they buying from snacks at the gas station? They don't need gas. They don't have cars, assuming. Is the 250 every 2 weeks reasonable for a 3-person household? I mean, it's not bad. I think you could probably get it lower though. Like, buy more of the cheapest meal that you make and buy less of the most expensive meal you make. Maybe cut out the most expensive meal you make entirely and see what you can do on that. So that's per week. Yeah, that's not bad for 2 teen boys and one that has sensory issues, I'm assuming, left that word out, and is super picky about what he eats. That might be a tough crap moment at that point. If he gets hungry, he'll eat something. I guess I just need help on what to tackle first. I think Dave would say emergency fund. Again, normally, yes, but since you're behind on the credit cards, you need to get those current first. That's part of baby step 0. And of course, see, that's people would know that unless they dove into the program, into the advice more, watched the Ramsey show, Googled it, watched a lot of highlight videos maybe, read the book. You can also Google baby step 0. But yeah, it doesn't say anything about that here on this list, unfortunately. But, it can't because even if it says everything I explained about 1, 2, 3 being one at a time without doing higher steps, and then 4, 5, and 6 you do at the same time, but still in that priority order, it would make, you'd have like writing all over that and arrows and stuff going to where they're talking about the thing. So, but yeah, I think you can probably get that. I think I'm more concerned though with other than the food. So these credit cards right here, all of where you have freaking between $3,000 and $4,000 of payments on that. Do you still have any of the crap you bought with those cards? Sell that stuff. Sell it. Um, but like if it was on eating out or something like that, obviously you can't sell that. That's gone. So, but look at anything you have laying around that is worth anything, sell it. You want to make the kids think that they're next, for example. I think that takes care of that one. If you had a job with a 403B and then got a new job that has a 403B with a different company, would you transfer the funds from the previous company to the new one or let it stay, and why? I don't know. It would depend. It's not as much of a rush, say if it's a national company and like there's almost no way it would never go out of business, so it wouldn't just, your retirement account wouldn't just disappear from there. But it's easier to keep track of if you would just roll it over into your current 403B for this person. Oh, and why? It's just easier to keep track of. Easier to keep track of one account than multiple. Um, the only another reason you might let it stay there is if those are much better investments than you have to choose from at your new job. So that would be a consideration. But another thing you want to look at to see if they have a Roth 403B. So you can put it in there because the Roth accounts are what is recommended by Ramsey Solutions above the traditional, because it is much, much better to pay the tax now on the small amount of contributions, because if you have any appreciable amount of time in the market, your growth is going to be way, 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 way more than the contributions. And so, well, you should pay taxes on that small amount instead. And plus, when you are retired, wouldn't that be great to not have to pay any taxes on that? That would certainly help out in retirement, wouldn't it? But the why to transfer it, you don't have to, not a law. But it just makes it tidier. That way you don't have two retirement funds laying out there. You just have one, or accounts rather. How do you manage to save seriously when every single cent goes on bills and necessities, even becoming, put the minus sign too there so we would know what negative means. Awesome. On your account, already taking from next paycheck. Yeah, don't do that. So you got to find stuff to cut out or make more money, or both. Probably both. Just to make ends meet. We don't qualify for help because we make over the bracket. If you make over the bracket, then something is definitely your fault. Here, 2 incomes, but still not enough. You might be living in a high cost of living area and you were dumb to think you could make that work with a not high cost of living 2 incomes. I don't even remember the last time I had a night out just to splurge, maybe. It's hard out here. Yeah. Stop being dumb. You gotta make more money and stop spending. Maybe you gotta move out of a high cost of living area. I would have to see what exactly you're spending money on. What is every single cent goes on bills and necessities. You can't spell a necessity, so I'm wondering if you actually know what a necessity is. People overuse the word need tremendously in this financial game stuff that we're doing here. They often say they need it when it's not a need. 100% not a need, you just want it. Trying to get rid of my car to knock out that debt, severely upside down. Would y'all buy a 2008 RAV4 with 236 miles on it for your daily driver? I drive an hour to and from work each day. That's dumb as crap. I just got rid of a 26-minute commute and now have an 8-minute commute. Of course, the gas here is being about 50 cents more. A gallon, though. So there was going to be that. But definitely less wear and tear on the vehicle. Going to cost be 2,300. People are nutty with their typing, man. And not correcting it either. I'll just hit enter. It'll be fine. I'll just hit send. I would buy a 2008 RAV4 with 236k miles for my daily driver if I had a mechanic look at it and said it was fine. I would do that. I don't know enough about cars to make that call myself, so I would hire a mechanic to do that. And some shops even will do that for free in hopes of getting to do work on it for whatever anything wrong they find with it. So, but that's fine. But an hour each way, you are nutty, sir or madam. That is crazy. Lexi Flick, admin, top contributor. I normally don't include the names, but since this is an admin on the Ramsey subreddit, and that is run by Ramsey Solutions, so that's somebody that actually works for Dave, so that's why I included it there. And somebody was asking about the live Ramsey shows and asked were they going to be posted, and Lexi kindly says yes they are. Chicago episode comes out next Friday and Orlando the following Friday. And what neither of them were, the question nor the answer were clear about is it didn't say where. Neither of them say where posted. Does this mean that's going to be the Friday episode of the Ramsey Show on YouTube or anywhere else? Is that going to be for everywhere? And so then they'll have episodes that we don't see unless they specifically don't do one on a Thursday. If they take the day off and they air that one like as the radio show, they air that one, broadcast it live on radio. No, it wouldn't be a video because video doesn't happen until the next morning at 9 a.m. So I'm wondering about that. So I don't know where it would be posted. Does that mean it's going to be posted here on the Ramsey Solutions, the Ramsey Baby Steps Community Facebook group? Or, where? You would think YouTube, but there's other questions that would come with that then. So we'll just have to look. And this was, I believe... This was a question from this week, I think. So I don't know if next Friday means this Friday or next Friday. Like I said, hard to tell what's going on here. I have been working through the baby steps for about a year, and I'm on baby step 3. Excellent. And it's been a slow process building up that emergency fund. I'm planning on getting married soon, and my partner, is it a business? Hasn't gotten into Dave's financial journey yet. My question is, when we get married and pull our finances together, do I use the emergency fund I have saved up, approximately $10,000, to pay off some debt they have? Is it more than one partner? And start the baby steps over? Or do I need to just pretend I don't have that savings and start paying the debt with the snowball from joined income? They, again, have about $40,000 in debt. Cars, student loans, credit cards. No. So, you see, So what was the question actually here? Oh, should you? Oh, yeah. When you get married and pull the finances together to use it, yes, because you immediately then have 40,000 in debt. So yes, you would go down to $1,000 emergency fund, and you would use any extra money, this emergency fund, any non-retirement investing you have, all that would go to the debt that now we have. But of course, more concerned than your concern here with what your question is, um, I'm planning on getting married soon, and my partner hasn't gotten into Dave's financial journey yet. Have you spoken to partner about money yet? You need to completely work that out before you get married. You don't wait until you get married and then you find out, oh, he's not interested in doing that. And you're going to be doing most of the work of paying it off, just like you would be with your $10,000. And right now, he may not be quick to get into it because he can still spend his money however he wants to now. He doesn't have to put all his money to debt. And you, if it's important enough to you, you might need to make that a what is that called? A deal breaker. Okay, so I think this is the best way to do finances. And probably like hopefully you already talked to him so he knows that that's what's going to happen. And so part of that, and of course you can change the game at any time, because if you didn't, that was a mistake. If you just are just letting it go that he's not doing that, see, because that lets him live it up now. And so he's wasting all that money that could put even, I'm not saying that then that way you get to keep any of your 40,000. You probably don't. I mean, your 10,000, because you probably don't. But he's trying to get that basically free $10,000 out of you. And I don't know how he or she, they feel about you. But I also don't know that you two should be getting married. So if the person doesn't care enough about your desires to do the Ramsey plan, which I assume you told him that, but maybe you didn't. A lot of people are dumb and they don't do that. They don't have that conversation. And you just wait until after the marriage and find out after marriage, and then you feel like you're stuck sometimes in that marriage. Oh, well, now I have to stay married because, yeah, that's why you need to talk about everything that might be a deal breaker before you get married. And you should have done it a long time ago, since you're saying since you're already planning on getting married soon. So you're doing it wrong. And I would want my partner to be on the same page financially. So it's up to you, though. That if that's not a deal breaker, that's not a deal breaker, and that's fine. But you don't expect the partner to change their ways once you get married. No matter what you do, a lot of people do that too. So many people I know have done that crap. They're like, oh, I'll just do it. I'll just start doing the Ramsey plan, and by me doing it, they don't want to do it, but by me doing it, they're going to see how good it works out, and then they're going to want to do it too. Yeah, not always. Not always. A lot of times they want to be princes and princesses and still get to have everything taken care of for them, and they don't want us to do any sacrificing of anything they want to spend money on, and they want to keep doing debt as well. And so you got to be careful. Be very careful. I made sure somebody else hashtag mentioned that to this young lady in the comments. Flying into Nashville today. Don't think there will be time to make it to Ramsey Solutions, so I'm wearing my Be Weird shirt on my flights instead. Excellent. That is normal. Be weird. And little wrinkly there. Little wrinkly there, but a lot of my clothes probably are too. So I believe this means I'm getting closer. Let's see. Just paid off my last student loan that has been hanging around for 26 years. That's a while. And my score dropped 45 points. Great. We don't give a crap about the score. So that's fine. Initially, my student loan debt totaled over $100,000. And I thought I'd never see the end of it. Now, $72K of remaining debt seems doable. One more year till debt free. Excellent. And that does mean if you pay off $1, you're getting closer. So yes. Another post by one of the admins. Which baby step feels the most intimidating? And I haven't talked about that before. With the word intimidating, I have thought about what would be the best one to skip, and probably step 2, the debt snowball. And people seem to agree with that sentiment. I did see one comment there where they said step 1 is the first one. The first one is hardest, and I would say for the first one, I would say the first one is actually step 0, and part of that is where you change your freaking mindset and you do the budget. And you cut out all things that are not necessary while you are doing steps 1, 2, and 3. Let's see what came in second. The full emergency fund. Yeah, a lot of complaints on that too, because stuff happens. They say life happens to people, and sometimes they lose sight of the prize in the full emergency fund, and they spend it on things that aren't emergencies. Imagine that. Stuff that could be delayed until after they got the full emergency fund amount. But they don't do that. They do it wrong. 2% save for kid college. Only 2% on that. And this was posted yesterday at 8:30 a.m. So this is like a day and a half of results. 270 comments there. All right. I don't know if that means 270 votes or 270 comments. Hope we get the baby step 3 in 670 days or sooner. Yeah, you should, because that's getting dangerously close to 3 years. And you are only allowed 3 years to keep all of your dumbass stuff that you got with your dumbass debt. If you can't get there in 3 years, if you can't pay it off in 3 years, then that's when you have to sell dumbass houses that make you house poor, or cars. You have to sell expensive cars you have loans on. You got to be able to pay it off in 3 years. Otherwise, time to sell stuff. Oh, let's do one more for bonus. Since I didn't do a show yesterday. I'm trying to understand some aspects of the Dave Ramsey recommendations. And I feel like, for me, since they're so easy to understand, that people are, they're like nitpicking at it, and they're being, I'm trying to understand some aspects of the Dave Ramsey recommendation. See, I'm not picking, I just want to understand, classic troll playbook as well. Let's see. Anyway, many are starting with no margin at all, or a very small one. Many having cars that their market value well below the loan amount. Yeah, and there's a way to address that as well in the Ramsey advice. So maybe you just need to dig into it more. And they can't get a loan for the balance. Why not to stop what? Why not to stop payments? Save for a bit by the time the car gets repossessed, you got enough saved to buy something for cash. Yes, the bank will auction the car for less, but you can negotiate blank claims, as bank claims, for 20 to 50 cents for the dollar. Okay, that's not going to be the advice. Sorry. If you don't have any margin, or that's when you need to do stuff, exactly like I said, like sell the cars, even if the market value, and hey, maybe you can sell it for more than market value. You don't trade it in at the dealer ever. Do private sale, you get the most money for it. And if they can't get a loan for the balance, yeah, if you can't get a loan, I mean, all that would depend on being able to get a loan for the, not the balance, but the difference. They get a loan for the difference and then take the money from the buyer and put those together and pay out the car. So your plan could be a backup plan, but it would not be the first choice to do. And the big advantage is you destroy your credit now. It's harder, sometimes impossible, to get new loans on new credit cards. And that's what's forced you to live on what you make. My life were like a roller coaster. It's life's were or life was. Dumb. Hashtag third grade. And years of bad credit caused me not to borrow money. Then when credit was getting better, I got back into debt. It was before Dave Ramsey baby steps. Yep, you're a dumbass, just like me. Just made me want to destroy my credit intentionally. Did others had the same experience? All right, well, you need to work on that English. Maybe not English is the first language. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that's not going to be the advice to start out with. If you have to do that because you can't get a loan for the difference, and again, it's not a loan for the whole balance, it's a loan for the difference. You're not getting a loan for that whole balance. So getting it just for the difference amount makes it more likely that you would be able to get that loan. And let's do that one as well. This just somebody posted this as a picture. Nobody talks about how your biggest problem isn't what you think it is. You think it's money, it's actually discipline. Yep. What you do with the money. You think it's time, it's actually priorities. Exactly. You think it's luck, it's actually effort. Yep. You're solving the wrong problem. That's why nothing changes. Cool. Alrighty, and let me go ahead and delete all these so I don't do them again. Did that go away? It did not. Whoops. Go down to the next page. This is a WH. Deleted there. Okay. So let's delete all the rest. There we go. Oh, we still got some blank. What else do I want to talk about? Anything? No, not really. Once again, I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you, yes, you are having money problems, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, or you're just being a dumbass and need to be told you're a dumbass, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me by emailing coachstevemoney@gmail.com, and we can work that out. That will happen by video conferencing. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, the Cash App at the $ Coach Steve Money. That was backwards to you, of course. Walmart gift card, another option to that same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, as always, subject to change, just like it did yesterday when there wasn't one. A stream. The Ramsey Show After Show 11:05 a.m. Eastern. One will happen on Friday, I'll make sure. October 10th. Next week, I have no clue. Answering your financial question streams 8 p.m. Thursday, that's tomorrow night, October 9th, and Saturday and or Sunday, which is October 11th and or 12th. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and thanks so much if you have done that before. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day. Yes, I know I need a haircut.